you gotta keep them cold. You don't want to get sick.
And that's how you do it. If you want that insulated bowl, it's 817-800. Now, let's talk about the jar opener.
Yes,
because
love this.
Until you had an automatic jar opener, we've been using the same old kind of way to open a jar, which was our hands. And for some of us, our hands just don't work like they used to. This, for less than $18, opens your jars. You're gonna hear a pop, you're gonna know it's open. You're seeing it in teal, comes in red, black, and gray.
Now this is so cool because how many of us have wrestled with a jar? And what do? You use a knife, you use an elastic band, you ask for help. And this is so cool because all you do is press down on the button and it's going to twist off that lid of the jar. It is so easy, so fast, and it fits any size jar. All you do is press down the button and then let it twist open, and you're going to hear a pop. And all you do, the top two hands adhere to the lid, and then the bottom two arms grab onto the jar. Any size jar, big, medium, small, it doesn't matter. Oh, did you hear that?
Yes.
And then it twists off and opens the jar. Big, small, medium, a pickle jar. It doesn't matter. It is so cool. And look, think about how you've wrestled with jars in the past. Have you used a knife? Have you used an elastic band? Have you asked for help?
Yes.
And I love hearing that pop because it really shows that the pressure of the jar opens up. And now look, once it's done its journey, that's all you do.
It's so good.
Right?
That's like, it's that relief feeling. We all have don't we all have our jar technique where you hit the bottom? Some people hit the bottom. Some people run it under water. Like I've used the knife. Sometimes nothing works, and you have to go next door to the neighbor to ask them to open the jar. Now you don't have to do that anymore.
And this is about getting your independence back in the kitchen. And you don't have to ask for help. You just take any size jar and let it happen. So it could be a small jar, it could be a medium-sized jar, and the top two hands grasp onto the lid, and then the bottom two hands grab onto the jar. And then, once it gets its leverage, it pops open, and you hear the pop. And it's wonderful also for reopening a jar. Imagine a jam or bouillon, things that get stickier over time. Now we have there you go, you see that pop?
Yes.
It is so fun to do. And watch, it just finishes its journey around the lid. You don't have to wrestle, you don't have to fight. You don't use a knife, you don't use an elastic band, you don't ask for help. And then once it's done its journey, it detaches itself from the lid. It's not just good for the first open. Imagine things that get stickier with time, like jam and bouillon. This is what it's all about.
Yes, it is. And again, we were talking about just like with the whisk, those simple, easy to use items that we've got in the kitchen every day. And it just makes cooking, prepping, all the things even better. If you've never had an issue with opening the jar, but maybe it's the kids, maybe it's the teenagers who are starting to do their own thing, the peanut butter and jelly, like you said, that jelly jar, it can be a monster. No more. Teal, very popular. We also have gray and red and black, and it's that simple. Think about it. We have can openers.
We have can openers.
Why would we not have a jar opener?
And anyone in any kitchen has a jar. And we've all wrestled with a jar. You see, that's in my home kitchen. Even on my peanut butter jar, mayonnaise jar. If you've got dexterity issues, this is for you. This is a great way to open any size jar because it works the exact same way. The top two arms grab the lid, the bottom two arms grab the body, and then it twists open the jar. Look at this.
Look at that.
Even if there's a label, it rips off the label for you. I'm just pressing a button here. It completes its journey, then you let go, and it opens the jar.
I'll tell you.
It's like magic.
When you look at it, you might think, well, I've been opening jars for years and they're getting tighter and tighter. The thing is, when the jar lid is put on, it's put on by a machine.
Yep.
People aren't standing there closing the jar. They're put on by machines, and they can be put on pretty tight. So sometimes it takes a machine to take it off, and that's what you're seeing right here, and it's really that simple.
I love doing that demo because you can see that label even rips off. So any size jar, even weirdly shaped jars, work, whether it's your pickles, your peanut butter, your mayonnaise, etc. And I'm just pressing a button, and those two hands are grabbing the lid. The bottom two hands are grabbing the body. And then you let it finish its journey and open up that lid. And when it's done, you hear the pop open of any size jar. And I love doing this and showing that little B-roll clip that I did in my house because even if it's a small bottle or a big bottle, pickles, a juice, It's really fun to see that any size jar works the exact same way.
Yes, let me show you all the colors again that we've got available for you, and then you can make your choice. We've got them for you in black, we have red, let me pull this to the side, we've got gray, and we have teal. So all of these are available. I know a lot of you are going in for that teal, really beautiful, less than $18. Great for every kitchen, but especially if it's very tough for you to open jars, you've never been able to do it. Many times I'll have to, even today, I'll have to have my husband open jars for me. Sometimes he can't get the jar open because they're just so tight.
I've been there.
So why not just make it easier on everybody and go ahead and do that?
I'm gonna keep opening jars. We do have a B-roll clip of how this works in my home kitchen, and I'd love to pull that up because it shows all the different sizes that you can do. But basically the top two hands grab the lid, the bottom two grab the body, and watch that B-roll because it really shows in my house all those different sizes of jars that work, whether it's a juice or a pickle jar. And look, big, small, medium. You just clip it on top, it grabs the lid, the bottom two hands grab the jar, and off you go.
And some of the jars that you see, some of the lids are smooth.
Yeah.
Some have a little bit of texture, like that bouillon that we were just showing you have a texture on the lid. Some of them have a little bit of a different shape, but that's what's great about these arms that just kind of latch on to the jar lid, and then they are able to open those on their own. So
even those little
the small
sauce
ones,
bottles,
even the sauce, I didn't even think about those.
Or juice, like those glass juice containers.
Yes.
And they all work the exact same way in the sense that they grab the top two lids, then the bottom two grab the body.
And
did you hear that?
I love the pop.
The pop is the fun part.
I know.
That's when you know it. Pop.
I know,
And
that's
it's
the
just
relief.
fun, and that's the relief. You don't have to ask for help. You don't use a knife. You don't use an elastic band. You don't tap the lid. And look, when it's done its journey, even on the oddly shaped jars, they work the same way. They grab it.
Right. And that's it.
And that's it.
I'll tell you this, if you're looking at this and you're saying, well, I've never had a problem opening jars, but maybe you do have a loved one that does. This would be a really great something to send to them. What I like is that they just put it on top. It doesn't have to be a small or a certain size. It can be any size jar. And you put it on, you press the button, and you let the machine do the work of opening, just like a machine closed the lid initially when it was first produced. Because think about it, if you ever put something into a jar, that something is hot, you put that lid on, that lid is not opening very easily. So let your Kitchen HQ do the job for you, all right? Teal, a lot of you are loving. We've got it in gray, we have black, and we also have red. Which one are you getting?